Hello and welcome to another edition of Mobile Monday, the video podcast from GodIsAGeek.com, where we take 4 mobile games and let you know whether they're worth spending your money on. I am God Is a Geek's deputy editor Martin Baker, and I'll be walking you through the 4 games this week. The first game that we're going to have a look at on Mobile Monday is Flick the Fish, and it's a game that probably couldn't get any more descriptive if it tried. The whole point, if you press the play, is to flick the fish that are displayed in the top right hand corner. So the top right hand corner shows the fish that you want to flick out of the way, and so you just got to keep an eye on that and flick things out of the way based on that. If you hit the wrong one, then you lose the combo, as well as losing the combo if you take too long to flick them out of the way. You get 60 seconds basically to flick as many as you can out of the way and keep the combo going. If you get one of the stars, which I missed just then, but sometimes you can get the stars that pop out of the water, and if you get them, it slows down time a little bit. Oh, I nearly got one then. I keep missing them. I want to get the stars so that I can show. Oh well, they'll pop up again. But yeah, the whole point is to try and do that. You get experience. There we go. So I can get a couple of these out of the way now while time's slowed down. You get 60 seconds to basically get as much as you can. You can see the time in the top left hand corner counting down, and the score is also up there. Screen starts flashing red, as you can see it now when you're running out of time. Let's add some more time to the clock. Get some more points. Slow that time down. But there is experience related to everything, as well, as you'll see when time's up. You can see that you can get a nice score thing that you can try and beat your own score. You can share that score and all that, and you get experience as well that you can level up basically. So I'm on level 2 right now, but obviously the more you play, the more experience you get. Let's see if we can get a better score. But yeah, it's a very simplistic game. I mean, there's nothing really much to it. It's one of those games that can get a little bit boring after a little bit of time playing it. You're not really going to be playing it for months on end. It's more of a game that you would pick up from time to time to have a little go on, see if you can beat your previous score. But it's not really something that you're going to pick up on a daily basis. I lost my combo. It's also quite difficult to glance up at the top corner of the screen in order to get the fish that you need to get. They don't seem to be different enough that you can just glance. I mean, if you're just looking at the fish in your periphery, it's very easy to see like the orange fish as the yellow fish. Like much better, at least for me. I mean, maybe it's just a personal thing. If the fish, like one of them, if it was green, yellow, and purple, or something that was a little bit more obvious. But it's not too bad. You can, for the most part, you can see the fish in your periphery, and it's just a slight niggle. Let's add some of those tires to there. See if we can get some more score before the time runs out. More. I need one of those stars to pop. There we go. Stars to pop up so we can get quite a few in. Did we beat a score that time? Oh, we didn't do too bad. Yeah, not a bad game. That people probably aren't going to be putting a lot of time in, but there's stuff there for some people. It's just, if it's your type of game, really. That is Flick the Fish. The second game that we're going to have a look at this week is Ding and Dang Firefighters, which is a strange little game, but we'll talk about what the game is once the cinematics is played. So you play as 2 firefighters, obviously, and if we choose one of the levels, as you can see there's quite a few levels as well, loads of them that we need to unlock at a later date, but we'll choose one of the levels to begin with. So the whole point is buildings on fire and there's people coming out of the windows, and you need to move ding and dang using your finger on them to move them left and right, and basically get people to fall into the waiting stretcher trampoline thing, whatever you want to call it. The first, or one of the first downsides is the fact that my finger is covering the characters now, so it's difficult to see where the characters are going to fall, and because the characters have to fall directly into the middle of the trampoline thing, of the thing that they're using to catch the people, it's kind of difficult to see where they're going to land. And that's really the second point, is the fact that they tend to have to fall into the center of the little catching thing, so that can make it kind of difficult as well. It's one of those things that you do get used to as the more and more you play the game. You just get used to, you like aim the characters that are falling from the windows into maybe the middle of your finger or something like that. But it's one of those things that when you first start playing the game, because you're not really used to how the game plays, it's very noticeable that you can that you sometimes don't catch people that you expected to catch because they didn't necessarily fall directly into the center of the catching device, as you just saw there. But you usually get 30 seconds or so to try and catch as many as you can. There are egg timers that sometimes fall from the windows as well, which you can collect to add some to the time. But for the most part, you just get that rough 30 seconds or so. But the game, it's enjoyable enough, but there's not really much there to keep people held for extended periods of time. But for if you want a game to jump in and out of, every so often, play a level or two, it's not too bad. But there are better games out there. But that is Ding and Dang Firefighters. The third game that we're having a look at this week is Coin a Phrase, and it's pretty much exactly like Wheel of Fortune, if anybody watched Wheel of Fortune, except you don't have the questions part or the wheel spinning parts. It's pretty much not like Wheel of Fortune at all, except for the guessing part. But we'll see what it is, and we'll start a new game. We'll pick a friend from the friends list, and I'm probably going to be pretty terrible at sports teams, song titles, and pretty much everything except movie titles, so we'll pick movie title. So that's everything that you need to do in order to play. So you can get that back by pressing the question mark in the top right hand corner as well if you need to know how to play things. So in this free version of the game, you can have 3 games going at once. As you'll see, every time you make a turn, it pesters you to pay for the full $1.99 version, and where you can get you can play up to 30 games at a time. The free version, most people probably won't play more than 3 games at a time, so the free version is fine if it weren't for the fact that it just pestered you every single time. So when you're playing a game, you don't pick. We'll make a move first. You pick from the cards that you get in order to choose the letters. You don't choose the letters yourself from, say, the keyboard. You choose one of the 3 cards. Some of the cards have more letters on them. Some of them only have 1. You can swap the cards out. You just have to pay one of the coins on the right hand side. You can see the amount of coins that we've got. You just have to, you can swap the cards by just paying for that coin. So we can we'll draw 3 cards to show an example. It costs 1 card. The amount 1 coin. The amount of coins has gone down. You can buy coins in the bottom right hand corner as well as typical. Pay to win, basically. You're paying for coins, so you're paying for hints and all that. When you play the card, you get the typical pass or guess. Pass passes the control over to the player. Guess, as you expect, would guess the movie title if you know it, but I don't know it yet, so we'll pass back over. But yeah, the advertisement for the $1.99 for the full game does pop up every single time. It does get a little bit annoying, but it's a free game, so you just have to deal with it, I suppose. The blue symbols as well on the screen means that my opponent has guessed those letters, so the letters that I've guessed will be on their screen. So you never see each other's letters. You're guessing for your own, for yourself. But sometimes it can help you pick some letters. If you picked T and H, for example, it's a 3-letter word, and they've gotten the E. You can see where the other E's are without having to choose it yourself. So sometimes it can work in your favour, but those are on very rare occasions. Let's see if we can get it. We'll pick an E. I think, yeah, I know this one, so we'll guess this. Can't believe they didn't get it. So you enter the characters using the keyboard that pops up, and then once it pops up, you can submit guess and see if you're right. And we are right. Winner, A Clockwork Orange. But that is Coin a Phrase. The fourth and final game that we're going to talk about this week is The Wild Kingdoms, and it's a card game essentially. It's not something on the levels of all the other card games that we've seen, like the Magic stuff that I reviewed a while ago. Now it's a little bit of a simpler card game. As you can see, you can do online battles or local skirmishes. Online battles play against other people, obviously online around the world, but we're not going to do that today because obviously I don't want to be waiting for people to make their turn just for the sake of the review, really. So I do a local skirmish, and we'll do a new battle. You can see the ones that I've been playing. So when you do a new battle, you get the choice when it appears to do 8, 12 or 16 cards. That it makes the game a little bit tactically different. At first glance, it looks like it will make the game longer with 16 cards, obviously, but it doesn't. It just makes the game tactically different. You just have to move around differently and decide on different pathways to the end of the game. But we'll choose 8 cards just to make things a little bit simpler. So this is where you choose the cards that you want to do, and you can see the numbers underneath each of the characters, which is how much their range, their attack and their health. So you basically choose your 8 cards based on what you want there. There's a hero, there's 2 of those, the power-ups, the sea and the iron is the one that I've picked, and then you get some creatures that you can use throughout the game. There's plenty of cards to choose from. You can just stick them, swap out the hero if you wanted. Once you've got a deck that you like, you can press save deck, or you can load a previously saved deck. So that's just loaded the one that I just had a few moments ago, and we'll press save deck. Because this is a local skirmish as well, it's asking player 2 to sort those out. Obviously if you're playing in online mode, you just jump straight into the game once player 1 has chosen your cards, but since we're doing local skirmish, player 2 chooses their cards. So I'll just leave everything as it was. Once the game loads, the whole point of the game is to kill or capture, whatever you want to call it, the opponent's boy king, which is this card. So you want to put this on the deck, on the board, but you want to surround it with your cards. You want to protect it a little bit, so we'll put those around. Obviously if you're playing it for real, you would be a little bit more tactical about it. I'm just throwing them down for the sake of the review, but there are tactics involved that you probably would want to do if you were playing it for real. So we'll lock those cards in. This is going to look upside down, but that's just the way that it is for the opposition. Obviously you would sit on either side of the device, so this part looks upside down, but obviously if you were sitting on either side of the device, it would be the right way up. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just throw their cards down just for the sake of the review, so we can just get to the game. Lock those cards. So you can see that it's player 1's turn. Their icon is highlighted in the bottom left hand corner, and the whole point is to get to the boy king in the top centre is the one that I'm going to. Assume that I'm playing player 1. Go to the top centre to attack their boy king. So you can move the cards around. If you hold on the cards, it'll show you where you can move them to, but by just tapping them, you've picked them up. So you can move the scorpion 2 forward. Then it's the other player's turn. power-ups randomly appear in the match. You've just seen the one appear there above the spider. You can collect those by just dropping the spider on it. If you wanted, that would collect it. The ones that you also collected, you selected when you chose your deck, can be chosen as well. So I can drop the eagle on that one and increase the damage that the eagle does. It's the opposition is going now, so we'll just move some stuff out of the way. But that's, you just take it in turns basically to move the cards around. You know, tactically move things, so I can get them to attack my gorilla. There we go. So remove that card from the game. We'll try and move towards winning the game now. Move that away. But that's the whole point of the game, really. There's a lot of tactics involved. You can get really quite in depth with it at times. But in general, that's pretty much the game. So we'll just move towards ending the game. Let's move their body king a little bit. That's the end of the game. Player 1-1. Obviously that was faster than what you would do if you were playing two players properly, but for the sake of the review, I feel that shows things off quite well. And that is the Wild Kingdoms, and that's Mobile Monday for this week.